In this presentation, we will be speaking about the generator and motor principles and know how to apply the Fleming's hand rules to understand these principles. We start with the basics of the permanent magnets and know about the electromagnets. We'll speak about the right hand grip rule, then know about the methods of how to reverse the field direction. We will understand the generator principle and then the motor principle. We'll try to know how to apply the Fleming's right hand rule for the generator principle and the Fleming's left hand rule to understand the motor principle. Let us speak about a permanent magnet. You are seeing a permanent magnet having north and south poles. The magnetic field lines come out from the north pole. They enter the south pole. You can see some more magnetic field lines coming out from the north pole, going round and entering the south pole in the form of closed lines. Group of magnetic field lines around this magnet is called the magnetic flux. The flux axis along the magnet is towards right. We have a permanent horseshoe magnet in the figure. You can see the field lines in the form of closed lines. These field lines come out from the north pole and enter the south pole. You can understand this better with the help of this figure. This is what is the horseshoe magnet having north and south poles. Magnetic field lines appear around this magnet. We know the field lines come out from the north pole and enter the south pole, go round and form the closed lines. After speaking about the permanent magnets, we will now know about electromagnets. You are seeing in this figure an electromagnet, and another figure shows an electromagnet. Even this figure shows an electromagnet. In all these figures, the coils are wound around the iron cores and currents are passed through the coils. We will speak about the winding direction in this figure. You are now seeing an iron bar of round cross section. Starting from A coil is being wound. It is from front to back. All the turns are being wound from front to back. This is one type of winding. So the end of the coil is B. Now let us take another iron bar of round cross section. Now start winding the coil from A, but now from back to front. That means we are reversing the direction of the winding. In the first figure, it was from front to back. Now in the second figure, it is from back to front. The end of the coil is B. We will see the current direction in two different figures. We have here two coils wound on different cores. The winding direction is same in both the figures. Starting from A, in the first figure, the coil is wound from front to back. In the second figure also, starting from A, the coil is wound from front to back. That is how we say winding direction is same in both the figures. Let us connect the supply to the first coil. The positive terminal of the supply is connected to the end A. Because of this, the current will flow into the coil through the end A. Now in the second figure, let us connect the supply. Now you can observe the polarity of the supply is reversed. Because of this, the current will come out from the source from the positive terminal, enters the coil through the end B. We can say the current direction is reversed. We will know about the right hand grip rule in this slide. You have an iron core of this shape. A coil is wound around the core. You observe the winding direction. The coil is wound starting from the left side from front to back. Pass the current from one end. It is now passed from the second end. This current will pass through all the turns as indicated by the arrow marks in this figure. Now apply the right hand grip rule. Show your four fingers of the right hand in the current direction. The thumb is stretched. In the direction of the thumb, the flux comes out. You can see now one flux line coming out in the thumb direction. You have another line. A few more lines are shown now. All these magnetic field lines are coming out in the thumb direction, going around in the form of closed lines, entering the other end. So whichever side the flux lines are coming out, it will be formed as the north pole, the other end as the south pole. Along the core, the magnetic field axis is in the thumb direction. It is now towards right. This core is in the shape of a horseshoe. Let us understand the electromagnetism with the help of this core. A coil is wound around this core. Starting from the end A, it is being wound from front to back. B is the end of the coil. Now pass the current through the coil. It is passing from A, going round in all the turns. Because of this current flowing in the coil, electromagnetic field lines are produced in the core. Let us apply the right hand grip rule to know the direction of the electromagnetic field lines. We have to hold the coil with the help of right hand grip. Show the four fingers in the current direction. The thumb will show you the direction of the field lines. So now the field lines are directed towards left in the thumb direction. So these field lines will flow throughout the core as being shown by the arrow marks in this figure now. So whichever pole face the flux lines are coming out, it will be formed as the north pole, and the field lines are entering into the south pole. As long as current passes through the coil, this electromagnetism exists in the core. Once the current is removed, the field lines does not disappear totally. A small amount of magnetism is retained in the core. This is called residual magnetism. In this slide, we will know how to reverse the direction of the field lines. In this first figure, you are seeing a coil wound around the core. If you look into the winding direction, it is wound from front to back from the end A. By connecting the source with the given polarity, the current is passing through the coil from end A. If you now apply the right hand grip rule showing the four fingers in the current's direction, the thumb is oriented towards left. That means the magnetic field axis is oriented towards left. See this figure, the winding direction is the same as before. It is wound from front to back. But the supply is reversed, because of which the current direction in the coil is reversed. It's now flowing through the end B. In all the turns, the direction of currents are shown. If you apply now the right hand grip rule showing the four fingers of the right hand in the current's direction, the thumb is oriented towards right. We can say because of this, the magnetic field axis is now towards right. The field is reversed. Look into this third figure. The current direction is same now, but winding direction is reversed. You can observe the winding wound from the end A from back to front. The current flow in all the turns are shown by the arrows. Apply now the right hand grip rule showing the four fingers in the current's direction. The thumb is oriented towards right. That means the magnetic field is now towards right. Field is reversed. So in both the second figure and third figure, by changing the winding direction or by changing the current direction, the field directions are reversed. See the fourth figure. Here current direction is reversed. Winding direction also is reversed. If you apply now the right hand grip rule, the magnetic field axis is towards left only as it was in the very first figure. That means the field direction remains the same. So we can conclude from this figure, in order to reverse the magnetic field direction, either we have to change the wind direction or the current direction, but not the both. We will study the aiding and opposing nature of the magnetic fields in a common core. Let us have a core of this type. A coil is wound on this core and another coil also is wound on the same core. You look into the winding direction. Starting from A1, coil 1 is wound from front to back. Coil 2 also is wound from B1 from front to back. The winding directions are same. Now we will connect these two coils in series. The end terminal A2 will be connected to the starting terminal B1. This is the connection made. Now pass current from A1. It will flow through all the turns and continue. It will enter through the starting point of B1 and flows through all the turns. So observe the currents flowing from the starting points of both the coils. They are flowing through A1 and B1. Now apply the right hand grip rule to coil 1, showing the four fingers in the current's direction. The thumb is shown towards left. That means the flux produced in coil 1 is directed towards left. Apply the right hand grip rule to coil 2. Here also the thumb is oriented towards left. That means coil 2 flux is also towards left. We can say both fluxes are aiding. Let us look into this figure where again two coils are wound on the same core. Winding directions are same. Both coils are wound from front to back. Now we will connect the end point A2 to the end point B2. A2 and B2 are connected now. Pass the current from A1. This current will flow through all the turns, come out from A2 and enter B2. The currents are flowing through A1 and B2. That means in coil 2 we have reversed the current. This current will flow in coil 2 turns as shown by the arrow marks. Now apply the right hand grip rule to coil 1, thumb being directed towards left. The coil 1 flux is towards left. Apply right hand grip rule to coil 2. The four fingers in the coil 2 current's direction, thumb is directed towards right. That means coil 2 flux is towards right. So two fluxes are now opposing. Let us further understand the nature of aiding and opposing magnetic fields in a common core. Let one coil be wound on this core and another coil also wound on the same core. Observe the winding directions. Coil 1 and coil 2, in the winding direction they are different. Coil 1 is wound from front to back. Coil 2 is wound from B1 from back to front. We will connect these two in series. Now pass current through A1. It will flow through all the turns. Continue into the coil 2 from B1. The currents are flowing through A1 and B1, which are the starting points of both the coils. Now apply the right hand grip rule to coil 1, the thumb being directed towards left. The coil 1 flux is towards left. Apply to coil 2, thumb is towards right, so coil 2 flux is towards right. So both fluxes are opposing. Now let us understand the opposing magnetic fields in a transformer core. This is the transformer core. You see two vertical limbs in this core. Around the left vertical limb, wind a coil as being shown now in this figure. On the right side limb, wind another coil with some number of turns. These two are called as primary winding and secondary winding. Now pass current I1 through the primary winding. The secondary winding current will be supplied to an external load. So the direction of I2 is shown in the figure. Apply the right hand grip rule to the primary coil. The thumb is directed upwards. So the primary flux is directed upwards. It will flow throughout the core around. Apply the right hand grip rule to the secondary winding, showing the four fingers in the current direction. Thumb is upwards. So the secondary coil flux is upwards. It will flow throughout the core around. From this we can observe the primary coil flux and the secondary coil flux are opposite each other. Here we will know what happens when a conductor cuts the magnetic field lines. Let us consider a core of this shape. You can observe an air gap along the path of this core. Wind a coil around the core and connect the supply to the coil. Depending upon the polarity of the supply, the current passes in the coil in the direction shown by the arrow. Because of this current passing through the coil, magnetic field is produced. These magnetic field lines will flow throughout the core. Now apply the right hand grip rule to know the direction of the magnetic field lines. The thumb shows the magnetic field direction. It is now shown in the figure by arrows. These magnetic field lines flow in the directions shown by the arrows throughout the core. Now on either side of the air gap, the north and south poles are formed. From the north pole, the flux lines come into the air gap and enters the south pole. Take a conductor and move it down. While moving down, voltage is generated in the conductor. Now take the conductor, move it upwards. While moving up, voltage is generated, but now in the opposite direction. This is what is the generator principle. We will understand the generator principle when a conductor is moving up across the magnetic field lines. We will consider the two poles of a magnetic core which has N and S poles. We know the magnetic field lines will be oriented from north to south pole. In this magnetic field, let us place a bar conductor and move this conductor upwards. While the conductor is moving up, voltage is generated in this conductor. We can treat this as a single conductor generator. To know the direction of the current supplied by the single conductor generator, we will apply the Fleming's right hand rule. Show the conductor movement by means of the thumb of the right hand, the first finger in the magnetic field direction towards right, the second finger which is oriented towards inside the figure will indicate the current direction. So this current direction in the conductor is shown by this arrow. Current is supplied by this single conductor generator from the inside end. When the conductor is supplying the current in that direction, the polarity of the voltage will be as indicated by plus and minus. We will understand this same concept by means of another figure. We have again the two poles of the generator. In the air gap, the magnetic field lines are shown towards right, which will be indicated by the first finger of the right hand. Now we see the conductor's cross section here. Let this conductor be moved upwards. This upward movement is indicated by the thumb of the right hand. So by means of the Fleming's right hand rule, the second finger, which is oriented towards inside, will give you the current direction. If you treat this current as an arrow going inside, the tail of the arrow, which is indicated by the cross, indicates the current. So when the conductor is moved up, this conductor will produce a current which is indicated by a cross. The cross indicates a current going in the conductor towards inside. In this slide, we will understand the generation of voltage for a case where the conductor is moving down. Let us look into the magnetic poles N and S, between which you have the magnetic field lines directed towards right. In this magnetic field, place one conductor and move it down. While moving down, voltage is generated in this conductor and the conductor supplies the current. In order to know the direction of the current, apply the Fleming's right hand rule. The thumb should be shown in the direction of the movement, the first finger in the field direction. The second finger shows the direction of the current. This is shown by means of the arrow in the conductor. It is coming out of the figure. In agreement with this supplied current, the polarity of the generated voltage is shown in the figure. Let us understand the same concept with a different figure. In the magnetic field, the same conductor is placed, but now the conductor's cross section is shown here. Move this conductor down, and we know, as per the generator principle, while the conductor is moving down, voltage will be generated in the conductor, and that conductor will supply the current. Now again apply the right hand Fleming's rule. Here also the second finger oriented outward will give you the current direction. If you treat the outward current by means of an arrow coming out, the tip of the arrow will indicate a dot. So we put a dot inside the conductor, which shows that the current is flowing outwards. We will know the motor principle now. When a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, a force will be acted on it and thereby it gets movement. Let us understand this principle with the help of this figure. We have the magnetic field lines between the two poles. In this magnetic field, place a conductor and pass current through this conductor. Because of this current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field, a force will be acted on the conductor and it gets movement. The direction of movement depends upon the direction of current. For this direction of current, the movement is downwards. To know the movement direction, the Fleming's left hand three fingers rule is used for the motor principle. We will understand the motor principle for a case where the current is passed in the conductor towards inside. We have the magnetic field which is oriented towards right. In this magnetic field, place a conductor and pass current flowing inwards. Because of this current passing through the conductor and placed in the magnetic field, a force will be acted on the conductor. In order to know the force direction, let us apply the Fleming's left hand rule. The first finger is shown in the field direction, the second finger towards inside in the current direction. The thumb is oriented downwards, which shows the force direction. Because of this force, the conductor moves down. Let us understand the same by means of this figure. You have again the magnetic field. The conductor is placed in the magnetic field, but now the conductor's cross section is shown. Pass the current through the conductor. The current is shown by a cross. If you treat the current by an arrow going inside, the tail of the arrow, which is a cross, indicates the current going inwards. If you apply now the Fleming's left hand rule in the similar way, showing the field by means of the first finger, the second finger showing the current direction, the thumb gives you the force direction. It's now in the downward direction. We will speak about the motor principle in this slide for the case of a current passed in the conductor towards outside. We have the N and S poles between which the magnetic field lines are oriented towards right. Place a conductor in the magnetic field and pass current which flows towards outside. Because of this current, a force will be acted on the conductor. In order to know the force direction, let us apply the Fleming's left hand rule. Show the first finger of the left hand in the magnetic field direction, the second finger in the current direction. In this case, it is towards outward. The, the direction of the force is shown by the thumb. It is now upwards. So because of this current carrying conductor placed in the magnetic field, a force is acted on the conductor towards up, and because of that the conductor moves upward. We will understand the same concept with the help of another figure. Place a conductor in the magnetic field which is oriented towards right. We are now showing the cross section of the conductor. Pass current through this conductor outward. This outward current, if you indicate by an arrow coming outwards, the tip of the arrow indicated by a dot, the dot indicates the current coming out in the conductor. Because of this current carrying conductor placed in the magnetic field, a force will be acted on this conductor. In order to know the force direction, we apply the Fleming's left hand rule. The first finger in the field direction, the current coming out by the second finger, the thumb is oriented upwards. That means a force will be acted on the conductor upwards. Because of this force, the conductor moves upward. With this, we conclude this presentation. In this presentation, we looked into the basics of the permanent magnets and electromagnets. We have seen how to apply the right hand grip rule to know the magnetic field direction. We also have learnt how to reverse the magnetic field direction. We understood the generator principle and then applied the Fleming's right hand rule to this principle. We also have looked into the motor principle and applied the Fleming's left hand rule to this principle. This knowledge will help us in understanding the topics on electrical machines. All the best.